What is up, guys? PQ49 here. We are back on SimCity 2000. Yes, today we're playing an old game again still. We played this last week. This is the city that I was building last week, and I've kind of played a little bit off screen, done some more building for you, and now we're in the future. We've skipped to the future, and I'm going to add some arcologies, or at least try to get to arcologies. If you don't know what I'm talking about, forget about it. Just focus on the question at hand. But I do want to say that this series is going incredibly well. I'm really digging the conversations that we're having in the comment section between you guys and each other, between you and me and everybody who's involved. I want to thank you very much for getting involved in the comment section. This is just going great. You guys are very intelligent people, I can tell, and I appreciate you sharing your input. I don't care what it is. If you agree with me, put that in the comment section. If you disagree with me, put that in the comment section. If you have your own opinion, put that in the comment section. Okay? So thank you for all of you participating in the comment section. Thank you for all of you asking questions. We had some good questions this week. I was really impressed by the caliber of questions that you guys had. So it was a little bit hard for me to choose one, but I did choose one that stuck out to me. And that was a question asked by Eve Clark. Before I go into her question, she is the brand new owner of an ocean jasper sphere, and it's been charged by the full moon. And Eve, just some tips on when I use ocean jasper. What I like to do is I close my eyes and I hold the sphere, and I kind of imagine myself at the beach, right? At the beach, and all of a sudden I'll start hearing the waves, I'll start smelling the seaweed, I'll start feeling the sand, and it just brings me to an instant state of calm. Have you ever been mad at the beach? It'll take like a shark attack to be mad at the beach, right? Everyone's just happy and calm at the beach. So that's kind of what ocean jasper does. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I digress. Let's get into her question, and her question states, this may be a dumb question, but do you have any thoughts and opinions of sexuality? Maybe the oppression, perhaps the people who are different in that way face, or even the nature of it and the lessons that may come along with it. Thank you, Eve Clark, for your question. There is no such thing as a dumb question. I think all questions have something that they'll teach us, something that we can learn from the answer. So thank you, Eve Clark. This is not a dumb question. In fact, this is a very complex question that I don't know how to answer. Well, I do know how to answer it, but I'm going to answer it in my own way. I'm not going to give probably the answers you guys are expecting on this one, okay? But we'll go into this head first and see where we land. Okay? First of all, I just want to make it clear that these are my opinions and you're free to disagree. In fact, like I said, if you do disagree, put those in the comment section. But I don't feel like it matters at all who you're attracted to. If you're a girl attracted to girls, a boy attracted to boys, boy attracted to girl, a girl attracted to a rhinoceros, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm sorry. I think it's one of the most inconsequential things that we could be talking about, personally. I think a lot of it stems from religion. I think a lot of the people who are against maybe homosexuality or just being different, I think a lot of that stems from religion. It's ingrained, it's taught in us, to many of us, since birth. And I think it's something that, if we're looking at the progression of the human race, I think it's something that'll eventually go away. I think sexism or I don't know what's the word. What's the word for discriminating person based on their orientation? I don't really know. Whatever. Discrimination. I think that'll eventually go away. Not in our lifetimes. Sorry to say, if you're feeling the wrath of this discrimination, it's not going to happen in our lifetimes. But over the centuries, I think we'll start to see that as less and less of a thing. But for right now, we're living in basically the dark ages. Okay, I mean, women just got the right to vote. If you're looking at the human civilization in the grand scheme of things, they just got the right to vote. So we're not as advanced as a society as we like to think. Okay, I think we are pretty Neanderthalithic. That's not a word. Okay, so don't be using that in your history classes. Or is it a word? Neanderthalithic? I think it should be. Whatever. But what I really want to say about this question, Eve Clark, and to all of you listening, is that I think that our views on this are far more skewed than even many of us believe now. Here's what I mean. We see people, whether we like it or not, every single one of us, we put people into these classification labels. That person is a black, middle-aged woman. Right? That guy is a younger, white, privileged male. And we not only see people in this way, we kind of make determinations based on this without them saying a word. If a stranger walks up to you, you've already kind of made a determination based on the information that you have about them. If it's a kind of a scruffy looking guy, he kind of looks kind of dirty, looks like he hasn't showered in a while, looks like he's been on the street begging for change, you've already made a determination before he's opened his mouth about what kind of person that guy is. And that's kind of what human beings do. We'll create labels because it's easier for the ego mind to understand something if it's in a little box. We can understand that box, right? But when something is not able to be contained, the human mind just doesn't grasp it. It doesn't want to grasp it. It has to classify things. That's what the human mind does. It classifies things. And I think we as a species have to move away from that. Yes, guys, we have to move away from that. We have to stop seeing ourselves as different. We have to stop being willing to put each other into little boxes. We put ourselves into boxes. We put ourselves into little boxes, and it's detrimental to our growth and expansion as humanity, as a race of humans. We have to stop doing this. And, this is not just color, race, ethnicity. This is also about height, weight, skin color, hair color, right? All sorts of things. Accents, language. We make all these labels for people. But what I think that we're failing to understand as a human race, that we are all one being. We are all the same, right? You don't look at a colony of ants, and though they do have a social structure, right? The worker bees are kind of lower, the queen's at the top. They're not discriminating against each other. They're all ants. They're all working together towards a common purpose. They all have their roles. They understand that they're different. There's a soldier ant, there's a worker ant, there's a drone ant that mates. Don't ask me how much I know about ants or why. No, I know a lot about ants because of SimAnt. I'm a video game guy. There's a game that came around at the same time as this game by the same company called SimAnt, where you were an ant and you had to live your life as an ant and explore other colonies and fight other colonies. Anyway, I'm digressing yet again. The point I'm trying to make about this ant thing is that these ants are all working together. They realize their differences. This ant is good at digging, while this ant is good at foraging. So you're going to be the forager ant, you're going to be the digger ant, but we're going to work together to expand our colony and to prosper as a group. Humans, we're not really like that. We want the people who look like us, who sound like us, who smell like us to prosper, but the people who don't look like us, who don't smell like us, who don't sound like us, we want them to just do their own thing, be separated. If you guys do well, that's fine. If we could hold you down in some way, which will elevate us in some way, we'll do it. We're fighting each other. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. We're not a colony. We're not moving towards a common goal. We're a bunch of factions of people in boxes that just is warring with each other. And it's crazy. It's Neanderthalithic, guys. It's Neanderthalithic. The other day, let me tell you just a little story. This other day, there's this YouTuber who I used to watch, and she's a very awakened individual. She's been awakened for a long time, and just very, very conscious, very open. But she made a video called Girl Power. And I was like, what is this video? This doesn't sound like her. And this video was talking all about how girls need to find their true power. They need to come into their own. They need to be more outgoing. They need to be more masculine and all that sort of thing. And I kind of took offense to that because she's so awakened. I said to her, why are you promoting this idea that women are not the same as men? And that's a complex question. She wasn't ready to answer all that. But what she was doing maybe at a subconscious level was saying women are like this, men are like this, And while that's true, women are different from men. Men have certain capabilities. Women have certain capabilities. We have to stop seeing someone as a man or as a woman. Why can't they just be a person? Right? Why are we looking at them like yes, they're different, and we have to acknowledge that. Women are different from the men, obviously. No one's questioning that, but why are we treating them as different entities? Why are we saying, you're a woman, okay? So that means you have to stay at home, you have to get pregnant, you have to raise a child. If you do have a job, you're going to make less money. Why are we putting people into these boxes? Why isn't this woman an employee, right? Why can't she work the same hours as a man, do the same job as a man, get the same pay as a man, right? Yes, she needs maternity leave, possibly, but that's I'm losing my train. I'm not losing my train of thought here, guys. I still got it. But what I'm trying to say is that this society needs balance. We need to come into a point of balance between our masculine and our feminine. Okay, let me break it down from my perspective. For most of my life, I was a very masculine person. I played sports my whole life, always competing, right? I'm pretty intelligent, so always arguing or discussing with other people, trying to prove how smart I was or how much smarter I am than another person. Always doing things to dominate, to win, to be the best. Very masculine energy. But I went through a shift maybe 4 years ago or so, and I realized that what I need is balance. There's only so far masculinity can take you. The positives are, speed, power, endurance, all things that are masculine, but you also have this the negative aspects of it, the willingness to subjugate another person, right? There's some negative aspects to masculinity. The idea that the men are better than women, right? The superiority complex. And what masculinity leads to, hands down, every single time, is war, murder, death. That is where masculinity leads, if it's unbalanced. And I think in this society, we're living in an unbalanced society that leans too heavily towards masculinity, which is why we see these countries. My country's better than your country. No, it's not. My country's better than your country. Oh yeah? Let's fight about it. Oh yeah, let's kill each other. Let's kill innocent civilians to see which country's better. And then when we decide who's better, I'm going to steal all your stuff. That's the world right now. We live in a toxic masculine world. And so when I had that shift 4 or 5 years ago, I realized that I need to bring in some femininity into my life. I'm way too masculine. It's leading me down these dark places. And that's what I did. And, once you get more in touch with your emotions, once you start being more empathic towards other people, these are all the positives of femininity, right? Once you start to be more creative and less destructive, once you start to feel more and less exert your power more, you start to realize how valuable those things are and how much they're helping me and others and this society to bring us towards balance. We need to find balance. Yes, masculinity is necessary and is important. That's why it exists, but it has to be tempered with femininity, with the softer, more gentler side. And you have to have an equal dosage, I guess you would say, of both in order to move forward in a very balanced way, right? So that's what our society needs to do. It needs to find its femininity. I think we need more feminine leaders. I think we need more females in positions of power. I think we just need more females to have more power in general. But we're not going to get there by putting each other into boxes. We have to start seeing everybody as people. That's all we are, is human beings doing our human being thing here on this planet. So I know I didn't really answer the question, Eve, but I think my answer to it is, why do we have oppression, right? Why does it exist? And in order to end it, we have to figure out why it's happening. And the reason why it's happening is because we're taught, so many of us, even the females, to live a masculine lifestyle. right? Females are taught to compete with each other, right? There's only so many eligible bachelors out there, ladies, so you better put on your high heels and spend 14 hours a day on your makeup, right? That's a masculine energy, like competing for resources. That's a masculine energy, where the feminine energy says, hey guys, there's enough resources for all of us, get in line and we'll distribute them evenly, right? That's the feminine ideal. But the masculine ideal is, hey, let's kill each other and whoever's left standing can have all this stuff. It's crazy. It's just crazy. So we need more balance, and we need to stop seeing people in terms of what they look like or what they, or who they like to kiss. Right? It's so stupid. So we're not living in that society yet, obviously. And obviously people who are different are going to be treated differently. And that's just part of what we're going through right now at this time on this planet. So you're gonna have to go through it if you are one of those people who feels different. But what you have to realize is, this is the most important thing I'm gonna say to you. If you feel like you're going through oppression for whatever reason, stop giving other people your power. Stop it. It's your power, right? It doesn't matter. It makes no difference what other people think about you. It makes no difference whatsoever, right? And if you truly, undeniably believe that deep in your heart, then your reality will match that. It will match that. You'll stop seeing people who are oppressive, because we are creating based on what we feel. We're creating our realities based on our sub and unconscious. So whatever you believe in the subconscious or the unconscious is what your reality is going to reflect. So if you're a reflection of peace, unity, and love, and if you understand deep down that we're all exactly the same, then your reality is going to match and reflect that. But if you are obsessed with this idea of putting people into boxes, we all are. We're obsessed because we've been taught to do it. Then you're going to reflect a reality that is full of boxes, that's full of oppression, that's full of hurdles and obstacles in your way. Because you're just resonating at the frequency of being blocked, of being oppressed. Stop thinking that it's possible to be oppressed and you can no longer be oppressed. Right? It's the belief that it's possible for another person to have any effect on you. It's that belief that makes it true. So you got to stop thinking that racist over there, that bigot, or that's sexist has any power over you. They don't. Right? Anything that they say to you or anything that they try to do to you is a reflection of how they feel about themselves. It has nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with them. Right? So why allow their issues to affect you in any way possible, any way at all? It doesn't make sense to do it. I encourage you not to do it. Okay, I know it sounds so woo-woo, right? Just reprogram your subconscious beliefs. I mean, it can be done, right? It can be done. Obviously it can be done, or else I wouldn't have embraced my feminine side, right? I never thought that was possible. Never in a million years would I have thought that, I'm going to be in touch with my emotions, or I'm going to, work with crystals, or any of these things. No, I thought it was impossible. I didn't think it could ever happen, but it did. And I'm so grateful for it, because now I'm a more balanced human being, right? And you're saying, but how, guys out there, you're saying, if I'm more feminine, the girls aren't gonna like me. No, the opposite, buddy. Right? Females want a guy who's well-rounded. They don't want a guy who's just gonna wear affliction shirts and beat up everybody in the bar. Right? They want someone who's well-rounded, who is in touch with their emotions. So if for no other reason, do it for the ladies, guys. Or if you're a gay guy, do it for the other guys. Or if you're a gay girl, do it for the other gay girls. Or if you like the rhinoceri, do it for the rhinoceri if you're one of those. Okay, no judgment here. All right, so that is my answer. I want to thank everybody obviously. I want to thank Eve for that great question. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for putting comments in the comment section below. I want to thank you for involving yourself in these discussions. This is going great. I don't care how many views we're getting on these videos as long as we get discussions, and we're getting those. So I really appreciate all of you who are participating. Let's keep this going. I'm down to do this every week. Why not? It's fun. So keep the questions coming, and I'll keep the videos flowing. So I want to thank you all. Enjoy my SimCity. We might revisit it once it's completed. I'll get more ecologies in there. Anyway, I'm rambling. That's enough for me. Thank you all. Happy SimCitying. I guess. Peace.